Hello and welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be taking you for a walk through Houghton. Houghton is a small village just south of Amberley and Amberley Castle. Started the walk off just over here at the tunnel, wandered down to the turnpike. The turnpike is an old toll house for the Houghton Bridge, and back in the old days, if you wanted to cross Houghton Bridge, you'd be paying your fees at the turnpike. Next we're going to head up to Amberley railway station. The railway came to Amberley in 1863, so we've got an old Victorian railway station there. It's quite charming. Next we're going to take a little walk past Amberley Working Museum. Amberley Working Museum is located in an old chalk pit, and the chalk pit was worked for hundreds of years, maybe longer, and now it's a home for old buildings, old vehicles, old railway bits and things like that. It was most famous for being the location for a Bond movie. Back in the 90s I did some work over at the chalk pit, and in the chalk pit there is a connecting tunnel that connects that chalk pit with one next to it, and that was the entrance to a secret layer in one of the Bond movies. If you'd like to see me make a video at Amberley chalk pits, then I'll do one. Just put it down in the comments. The next place I wanted to visit was Quarry House. Quarry House used to be owned by the boss of my father. So when I was very small, I do remember visiting Quarry House, and it's got quite a grand entrance outside the house. It's no longer used, but back in the days when I visited there, that was the entrance. It now has an entrance at the back. But the house itself is significant because it used to be owned by the owner of the chalk pit. So the chalk pit obviously was used and mined for some time, and when I was at college, I think I spent a month there. I got quite intimate with that area. Up on the hill a little bit further up High Twitton, which is the road that runs alongside Quarry House. Up on the top there was a section of barns, and I wanted to take you to those barns because for many years you could walk into that. It was basically a cattle or a farming area, so there were some old disused barns in there, and there was a grazing area for animals. It looks like property prices have risen so much that the dilapidated barns have been turned into expensive houses. So next we're going to take a walk up over Houghton Bridge. It's an extremely busy road, so even when that bridge was built, there were passing places located on the bridge so that you could get out of the way of oncoming traffic. Little did they know how much traffic would be going over that bridge to this day. And next stop is the church in Houghton. Just wanted to have a quick look round in there. Unfortunately the church is locked. We have had some churches that have had some bits stolen out of them recently, so that's probably why it's locked, but shame I couldn't get inside to show you around, but maybe another day. So yeah, our last destination is going to be the 13th century pub. So this is the George and Dragon at Houghton. It's a 13th century pub, and as you can see, perched on the edge of the road. So the reason I've come to this pub is that this 13th century pub is supposedly haunted by a ghost called Charlie. On previous visits that I've made to this pub, you'd see inside pictures on the wall of the regulars, and they'd be supposedly sitting next to this ghost. And also there was sort of stories of people who had been touched or whispered in the ear by this ghost. with present day eyes, I can see it probably was a good laugh by the publican, being that this was visited by Charles II, so naming the ghost Charlie was probably a little in job or in laugh that the people in there would think that there's a ghost in there. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this small walk through Houghton. If you could like and subscribe, it will help me to make more videos just like this.